IVM.
Welcome to another week on IVM. It's been a great week. If you aren't following us on social media, please make sure that you are. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. On Cyrus Says this week, Cyrus is joined by actor and comedian Gaurav Gera. They talk about Gaurav's journey in showbiz and the inspiration behind his Shopkeeper Behenji sketches. On Simplified, Naren and Srikat are joined by guests Avanti and Zain from the Marvel's Lost and Found podcast. On Geek Fruit, Tejas and Jishnu give their take on Ant-Man and the Wasp and discuss the future of the Ant-Man verse. I'm really looking forward to that. That was a great movie. On Varta Lab, last week, founder of IVM himself, Amit Doshi. Hey, that's me. Talked to Akash and Naveen about being Amit Shah's doppelganger, my journey so far, and how he started on IVM podcast. I'm sorry if that grammar was twisted. On Keeping It Queer this week, we have the producers of Vice's latest web series, Sex Rated. And with that, let me take you on to your shows.
What's good, you guys? You're listening to Hustle Science with Ranveer
and Tejaswin. What's up?
So, today's episode super special because our guest actually flew down to Bombay from Mohali just for the podcast.
Yeah.
So, if you're someone who enjoys conversations about YouTube, meditation, spirituality, what else can we talk about?
Wide-ranging, man.
Yeah.
We spoke about modeling careers.
Yeah.
We spoke about the bad side of things.
Yeah.
We spoke about struggles and coming out of that.
Yeah. But above all, like I feel like there was like an internal motivational thread that just tied everything.
Throughout. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for from these podcasts, and we actually found that very well in this one.
So, in fact, like I think about 6 months back when we had met Abhinav Mahajan for the first time, we had pitched a podcast to him. That time, we had no idea that we'd be recording our own podcast in 6 months.
Yeah.
But he was the first guy who said, bro, we have to do this, and we have to record this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and also, over the last 6 months, I've gotten friendly with Abhinav Mahajan, and so have you.
Yeah.
And
We've chilled with him quite a lot. We've gone places with him. We've shown him around Bombay once in a while.
Yeah. And
so there's that comfort level that's existing. So this
for sure.
will be very interesting.
Conversations will be much more chilled than what you'd expect from a podcast conversation.
Yeah.
And also, very importantly, I feel like on a personal level, he's someone who helps me a lot in terms of motivation as well. Like whenever, if I'm going through something in life, I end up calling him, talking to him, just generally. There's no advice or anything that goes on. He just talks to me, and just talking to this guy is properly like something I find very motivating.
Yeah.
So that's one big reason I wanted him to cover one entire episode.
Yeah.
So should we just dive in?
Let's go for it, man.
Let's go. What's good, everybody? So about 6 months back, Tejaswin and myself, we were chilling with someone called Abhinav Mahajan, and we had an insane conversation. In the span of like 4-5 hours, we spoke about everything. And that's the first time we ever thought, dude, you should make a podcast with Abhinav.
Yeah.
And now we've actually got Abhinav for an episode. Bro, welcome to Hustle Science.
Thank you so much, Ranveer. Thank you so much, Tejaswin. Like, I've been waiting for this. We've been planning this from a long time, and every single time there was some delay or something comes up, but this time I was like, no, we have to do it.
Yeah.
It's all cool, man. It's finally happening, so that's all cool.
Yeah. There's 2 episodes this season that I'm very excited about. One was Abhinav's episode. The other one's going to be recorded.
I'm excited about all episodes. You can't just be like, you can't pick your favorites.
No, this episode's going to be my favorite because I know where the conversation is going to go, and this conversation.
Excited?
Yeah, it's going to be super trippy. Yeah. Also, like I feel like again, Abhinav's a YouTuber.
Yeah.
And
that connect remains every
yeah, for sure. Anyone on social media, YouTube, you kind of
it's like an engineer to engineer, a YouTuber to YouTuber.
And you're an engineer also.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I'm a mechanical engineer.
Like most YouTubers. So bro, we gotta ask you about the origin stories. How did all this start? So to give the listener some context, Abhinav, what do you do right now? Like, what is your YouTube channel?
Who is Abhinav Mahajan?
Who is Abhinav Mahajan?
Oh, that is a very complicated question. We'll get into that, of course, into spirituality and all. I'm still trying to figure out who is Abhinav Mahajan, but on the superficial basis, I would like to call myself a fitness influencer. I'm a YouTuber, and I'm an online personal trainer, certified trainer, and a nutritionist, and I help people to transform and get physically, well-being, the physical well-being, and get their nutrition on point. So in short, Abhinav Mahajan is an online trainer, he's a fitness influencer and a YouTuber right now.
Yeah, and you also focus a lot on the mental aspect of things.
That is definitely, I think everything that you do in life, even if it's just gymming or transforming yourself physically, I think your mental game needs to be very right. Your mindset will decide wherever you are going to go. So yes, man, mind over body every single time.
Which is why at one point it stops requiring a special mention that, oh, this person also focuses on the mental aspect. You probably need to focus on the mental aspect every time. Everyone does.
I feel like in the future, definitely people will be focusing on the mental aspect.
Yeah.
But right now, if you just see the world of like bodybuilding, fitness coaching, everything's about big muscles and abs and all that. And then you have someone like Abhinav who's coaching people to like change as like a person as well.
I really feel that we think that bodybuilding or going to the gym is a physical aspect, but you have to just understand, why does a person actually enter to the gym? It's basically something starting from the mind. It's like a tragedy that happens. Oh my God, someone bullied me, or someone told me about, some body shaming happened. And in the mind, you have this first thought in the what we call a metaphysical world. So what something happens is, oh no, I need to get this thing through. I need to change myself. So it all starts with the mind, and then only it manifests in the physical world. We do not focus, or should I say, we do not give too much value to what goes in the mind, because we've been actually taught that mind should be only for the academics and maths, physics, chemistry. But this thing is, I think, if people start becoming more aware, so they will just come to know that every single thing that they're doing, whether it's a negative or a positive, it always originates from the mind.
Correct. It's funny because we were discussing this just yesterday. Ranveer came over for dinner last night and we discussed how people enter gymming because of some level of insecurity. Would you say that's the word?
Exactly.
There's some void in themselves that they're trying to fill through the process.
Yeah, like you will see in the whole bodybuilding community, which I'm not an integral part of, and I have nothing against them. But if you see a lot of bodybuilders, a lot of men's physique athletes, it is changing right now, but the majority of the people, they have this insecurity of looking better than someone else.
Always comparing themselves to
some people. And that comparison game, it's an unending game. For me, I think it's the best comparison for yourself is the person that you're looking in the mirror. So if you're improving on yourself every single day when you're looking in the mirror, I think that is the biggest win. Because in Punjabi, they have this kahavat called like "Ser nu sawa se zarur milda hai." So what that means is there's always someone who's better than you. And when you start comparing, it's an unending game. You reach that level, then you see there's someone else, then there's someone else, then there's someone else. So better focus on your thing. Of course, when you're competing, you have to be a little ruthless about that. But if you cannot get that out of your system on day-to-day life, it actually starts haunting you a lot.
Then you live your entire life in like one big comparison. You're not happy.
Actually, you're not understanding one thing, that we as humans actually have unlimited potential. And the person that you're comparing to yourself, he might be way lesser than your potential. So you might have a chance that if you stop comparing, you might hit your potential, which is way more than the person that you're comparing to. So you're actually winning a losing game. So you're actually never accomplishing the potential that you can have.
One more thing I feel like a lot of people fail to understand is that I feel like everyone is given their own unique gifts. And again, if you go into something like bodybuilding, where it's like you're comparing like one skill and then making your whole life just about that one skill, maybe you'll be better at something else, but they don't allow themselves to grow in those other aspects.
And this is a mistake. Like even I've very, very recently learned this thing that, sometimes you end up putting people up on a pedestal. When you go to the gym, you see someone with bigger biceps than you or a better chest than you put them up on a pedestal in all aspects of life. You think that they're better than you in every way and you look up to them. You start creating comparisons in every way, but you don't know what they do when they go back home. You don't know the mistakes they are making in their lives and where you are probably acing, where they are not.
You get like an inferiority complex. But the thing is, if you're a professional bodybuilder who's pumped like steroids and hormones into himself, then you're dedicating too much of your body and your life to that process. So this thing that you're talking about feeling in the gym, imagine your entire life becoming about just that comparison. Compare your own biceps to someone else's big biceps. And this is something I'm sure Abhinav seen. He's interacted with a lot of people from the world of bodybuilding, and they're almost always kind of just looking around, seeing okay, that guy's arms, my arms are also good, dude. It's just one big world of sadness. That's what I've seen.
Yes. So when I started, it was also because of the insecurity. So I used to be bullied a lot and name calling, and I had body shaming issues and stuff. So I entered the gym just one thing, man. I need to be strong.
How old were you when you started?
I started when I was 15.
Okay.
So it's been around about like 12 years now since I've been lifting.
Okay, it's just routine now. Like,
it has changed. Now the whole process has changed. It has become more of a catharsis for me rather than just lifting or building muscles. It's just more of the conversion of that extra pent up energy to release that. But earlier when I started, for the first 4 or 5 years, it was my just focus was to get stronger, defend myself, and have that pedestal that you were talking about. Exactly that. But the one thing I realized was the more I was becoming bulkier, the more biceps I had, the bigger biceps I had, I was actually being recognized only on one basis. And what was exactly happening is, this is not a perfect world. So you become sick, you have injuries, or you have some calamity that just puts you down and you cannot work out for a few days, and then you lose all that biceps in like 1 month. And what eventually happens is when you go back to the gym and everyone is like, you look sick, man. You look sick. And then it's like, oh man, this is the only thing that people are thinking about me. Like, I'm Abhinav Mahajan. I have my values. I have my morals. I read books. I know a lot of stuff, but people are actually judging me only on my physical basis. And then I delved myself into personality development, reading good books, and I've more focused more. Yeah, sure.
Like what happened? Like how did you take your career forward? Like at that age, through fitness.
So fitness was a very integral part of my life, and I just breathed, eat, and lived. Like that was everything. But the problem was, in 2012, when I actually decided to do something about this, when I was moving out of my engineering college, I had two options. I wanted to go for something or a career where I could remain closer to my fitness. Then there were only two options. Today we have a lot of things that we can do, but at that point of time we just had bodybuilding, which was full of steroids and people comparing each other, which I didn't want to go. And the second was fashion modeling.
Okay,
that was something that was very interesting for me, because there I did not need to be really bulky. I did not need to use any kind of steroids. I just need to maintain my physique, and of course I had a lot of exposure over there. But yes, that was back then when the whole journey of this fitness converting into more of, because there was a time where I was struggling with my modeling career for the first 7-8 months, and fitness alone was not doing anything. So I had to figure out a way that how I can actually make a mark in this career, because once you are a hardcore gym, and I'm sure that Ranveer knows that, once you go into the gym and you have that transformation, that never giving up attitude, that always stays with you throughout your life. And that was exactly what kept me going, and helping me to find my inner self. What exactly Abhinav Mahajan is, the real potential of Abhinav Mahajan. That was exactly when I started discovering and exploring more of it.
Dude, so what were your struggles like in the whole process of going into fitness, in just modeling in general? So we hear a lot of stories about the world of modeling and all, but from someone who's worked on the inside, is it like a very dark and nasty world? Like, what happens?
It all depends upon the perspective. So the thing about glamour world is, and this I know because I've been through that, it's worse than politics.
Okay.
It's worse than politics. The thing is that a lot of people, they come into the modeling world thinking that just because they have good height, just because they have a good face, and just because of their good physique, they are a fashion model. The problem here is it's not as simple as that. There's a lot of stuff that goes on. You have people, those who are taking advantage of you. Then there are classes in the sense, there are people, those who are at the elite level, those who can give you like the big breaks. And then there are people, those are the medium level, which can get you some contracts with campaigns and stuff like that. And then there are people, those who are at the bottom, the dark people, which you call. And the reality is, when you enter the modeling without any experience, without any contacts, and for a person like me, for 21 years, I was staying with my parents without any exposure, without any street smartness. For someone like me who has to go in that kind of a world, it was stressful. It was really stressful. I was trying to put my hands almost everywhere. I also got blacklisted in a few of the communities.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's complicated when you go in and you're not able to figure out. But then again, as I said, just that fitness attitude of never giving up actually helped me out. Also, I was very inspired by Arnold Schwarzenegger. So I read one of his books and his biography, in which he told that he was also approached by someone who wanted to take advantage of him sexually. And but he told that whatever he did in his life, it was always with dignity. And there are some moments in your life, there are some words in your life which become etched in your mind and they stay with you forever. So that was something that was always in me. So I wanted to do everything with dignity, It didn't matter how much time did it take.
Yeah.
It didn't matter how much energy or I had to put in. It didn't matter how much sleepless nights I had to go for or how much research that I had to do.
Yeah.
But yes, so that was it. And as I said, it's a cruel world.
Is there really like a casting couch culture and all?
Yes.
Okay.
I cannot lie on this. There is a lot of casting couch that goes on, but it totally depends on you where you want to go. And working as a freelancer, I know a lot of freelancers at that point of time, those who were taking the easy road, and there were people, those who were coming after me, but they were rising before me because they opted for the casting couch culture.
What put you in that direction? What put you into something like spirituality? Because for most people, they can't like. When you, for example, the main reason behind this specific podcast is to educate people about spirituality and let them know that something like this exists. They should take it up. But you can't expect everyone to go through a rough period to imbibe it in themselves.
Right.
What kind of changes came in you? What would you suggest to people to bring in this kind of change?
So for me, the major problem with me was my anger. And when I was in the struggling phase of the modeling in the initial months, I had a very bad breakup, and I was not, of course, I was not getting a lot of work. So I was really anxious and depressed a lot of times. So I was not sleeping at night. I was just like, going up and down on the stairs, and my neighbors used to abuse me for that. But anyways, so that was a very anxious time. I used to be very nervous, very jittery all the time, and I found Bob Proctor, I think it was his book, Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich, something like that. And there was a seminar, the whole seminar on YouTube that I was watching, and that he mentioned somewhere that you have to start using meditation.
Wow.
So I didn't know what was meditation. I just I YouTubed it. What is meditation? I was watching a lot of Elliot Hulse at that time, and he was also propagating to start meditating.
Yeah.
Dynamic meditation.
Dynamic. I was not into dynamic meditation that much. I just wanted to see what meditation did. So I just saw this video on meditation, how to do meditation. So I just typed how to do meditation. Then they are like, you just focus on your breath. Right? Let the thoughts come. Let the thoughts go past. Like I did for the first week, and I was like, oh man, this is even freakier than anything else that I've done till now. All those negative things which you're avoiding, and they all start coming up.
So it took you around a week to start seeing the results.
Yeah, I won't even say the results. It's just like it took me 1 week to just accept that, okay, this is freaky. But this is needed.
This can mean something.
Yes,
I should take
this
it up.
can mean something because there are issues coming up which I thought that they were gone, but they're still coming up again. So that means they're not gone. So it took me a while. It took me like a couple of months to get used to that. But then I saw a lot of change in myself. I saw myself getting calmer. I saw myself being very calm on the auditions because I used to get scared in front of the camera. Which many people won't believe that, but I was used to be like, in front of the camera, I used to sweat a lot and my face turns red. I used to get really, really nervous. But that started changing. I started taking control of my body, and I was like, trying to push my blood down to my feet, all those things that you learn while doing meditation.
It's funny you'd say that. We're just talking to a YouTuber with a very large following, and he used to be scared of the camera once.
Yeah.
It's all about facing your fears.
It's always about facing. I never thought it as facing your fears. I just, the same thing that I'm telling you, never giving up. That has only been the motto. Sometimes it becomes too much, and sometimes you have to just let things go, which I'm still trying to figure out. But most of the things that I've achieved in my life, it's just been one thing: never giving up. I've taken some of the most stupidest decisions, most foolish decisions in my life, and still been able to go through with the things with just that one attitude: never give up, no matter what happens. No matter what happens.
I feel like the one thing even I've realized on this whole YouTube journey is that there are constantly going to be mistakes. But the people who just like let the mistake go and keep moving forward, those are the ones that end up
it's tough. It's tough. It's very easy to just stay at one place and expect something to happen. And I've tried that few times, maybe due to laziness or when I become very complacent. But most of the times, it's only when I've moved myself forward, I've pushed myself forward, tried new things, made mistakes. It's only then when I have actually been able to come up with something, succeed with something.
Okay. All right. So we're going to take a break right now. After the break, we're going to talk about the whole YouTube journey and the whole motivational speaking journey till this point. We'll catch you after the break.
Long, long ago, not in Bethlehem, but in a place nearby, there was a wonderful birth of a huge show, which I like to call Cyrus Says. A show that encapsulates everything in human history, from the first Homo sapien to the last Homo sapien. who's traversed the entire world and then come back to India. This is a show which tells you everything about everything. If you want to know, avoid Google, come to us. It's called Cyrus Says. Get new episodes every Monday on the IVM podcast app or wherever you get your podcasts on. You get one Batata Vada free with every podcast. Right. I'll just check that.
Alright guys, so we're back on Hustle Science. Three of us just need to sit down for a second and talk about Elliot Hulse. He's influenced so many guys that I know.
Man, he's been a savior.
I agree.
He's been a savior.
For us, it was through engineering college. Like we had a terrible time in engineering college.
For me, it was more of when I was in the struggling phase of my modeling career and the depressive phase in China. That was when I was really influenced by that person.
Yeah. So let's give the listeners context on Elliot Hulse. He's basically one of the earliest fitness YouTubers originally. He put out all the possible fitness content in the world and then figured, okay, let me just switch to men's philosophy and men's life advice. And so I don't think those videos do as well as his fitness videos, but the kind of influence they've had on many guys' lives all over the world. Wow, and it's inspired YouTubers, obviously.
And honestly, I think the reason why Elliot Hulse is this great, as us giving him this much airtime to Elliot Hulse, is because you can see his change. If you just go to his oldest YouTube video and the kind of person he was, and the kind of person he liked to be known as, the things he would talk about, and the way he transitioned when he started talking about dynamic meditation, he started talking about men's philosophy. You can see his personality change. You can see him becoming a new person, and now the way he presents. You can see it's a different Elliot Hulse. He talks about a different Elliot Hulse, and he wants to educate you about the different Elliot Hulse to make that yourself. The whole to bring the whole thing.
Yeah, man. He has gone through a huge metamorphosis. Both physically and the way that he talks in front of the camera. That's man.
Very striking.
It's very striking, and he is one. He's one powerful man. A lot of impact. The best thing about him is
the biggest inspiration for you.
Yes, one of the biggest. He was that big that even in the modeling, when I was in the modeling career, when I was taking, I used to practice. I used to practice exactly what he used to say. Just take a phone and just speak in front of it. Of course, I didn't have that kind of a charisma back then as he has. But I used to do that. But that guy, I think the most striking feature about him is he tells you exactly what you do not want to hear.
Oh yes, and he looks at you right, and he looks in one take into the camera, and he tells you.
It's like no. I'm telling you my experience with his videos. I always used to think that God, it's very fishy when you listen to it. But I used to imagine that God is actually talking to me, and he's telling me exactly what I need.
Through this guy.
Yes. God is actually talking to me, and I think that is one of the things that has made him very successful. Where he's now he can charge $1,000 for one lunch.
He's actually taking classes, grounding camps for dynamic meditation. He's taking his own.
He's an actual example of someone who's literally changed the world.
And he's a YouTuber, so start taking this seriously, to the audience.
Yes. That's when actually more of the fitness YouTubers started talking about a lot of motivation and personality development. I think he was the one who started the whole thing, who gave that fitness and mind and body element to everything.
So even when I was just starting out the YouTube channel, I was very nervous about coming on screen, putting videos out there and all. And my coach at that time, he just told me that, listen, just go for it. So I was like, okay, I'll go for it. And so every time you're thinking of a YouTube channel, before it's ever born, you have a certain vision of it. Okay, these are kind of videos I'll put out. The first image in my head was Elliot Hulse. Make something like Elliot Hulse. Something in that mold.
Exactly.
At every stage, and I'm sure Abhinav will say the same thing. That somewhere Elliot Hulse has been an inspiration even behind the YouTube channel.
But have you feel like you've found yourself more now?
100%, but it was after turning, there was a phase where I was properly trying to become Elliot Hulse, and that helped me find okay, no, this is not who you are, this is who you are. Then I figured out what my own style.
Have you been through that phase where you feel like you were initially trying to be someone, but now you are you?
Yes, man, yes. So I was trying to put up a lot of stuff. I was putting up the fitness stuff, but every now and then I was trying to if you go back and it has 700 views, 800 views. I was trying to put up a lot of content with the same kind of feel of an Elliot Hulse. I was trying to do that, but man, it was a failure. It was a big time failure because I was not understanding the one fact that there's already an Elliot Hulse.
You be you.
You be you. You be you. So, and Elliot Hulse actually started all of that when he was in that transformation phase. I felt after that I am still not equipped enough with enough of advice or information about life and philosophies and stuff to actually help others out. So I might have been regurgitating or vomiting the same thing over and over and again, which Elliot Hulse was saying.
Yeah.
So that is where you're playing a losing game.
Yeah.
Because there's already an Elliot Hulse. The world does not want an Elliot Hulse.
Yeah.
The world wants a new Tejaswin. They want a new Ranveer. They want a new Abhinav.
Yeah.
So when you come up with that and you amalgamate your personality into your videos, I think that is exactly when the audience starts getting connected with you.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, you started the YouTube channel, fitness happened, then you went into motivational videos, and now we got to talk about motivational speaking. Firstly, do you feel India needs it? And do you feel India is ready for it?
See, I think motivational speaking is a very, very empty word. Why do I say that? Because anyone who has read books, anyone who has watched few motivational videos, he can come stand on stage and he'll like, oh man, you can do it. Anyone who has achieved something in life, they can be. So there's a difference between someone who has taught himself to be someone, and there's a difference between someone who can actually has the ability to teach someone to become who they want to be. There's a huge difference. And just achieving something and coming on the stage and just saying that, I did this, and it's not enough, because everyone is different. Everyone has different way of learning. Everyone has their own journey.
Correct.
So you need to actually make them realize or give them the direction of how exactly they can achieve their goals by going around with their own personality.
Yeah, by relating to
their own personality, their own journey, because everyone is different. So I can't be like, okay, so if you want to be a YouTuber, you have to become first a model and then become a fitness YouTuber, then you will be successful. Not everyone can do that.
Correct.
Not everyone does do that.
Correct.
So there's someone who does not have any equipment, who does not have any money. So I have to be on point and tell him exactly how he can start. And I feel that motivational speaking, rather than motivational speaking, it's more of the peak performance coaching, where you can, every single minute, every single moment of your life, you are performing at a peak, and you are at that mindset with go-getter, no matter how many resources you have, no matter how many calamities are happening in your life. So I think it's more of the peak performance coaching is what we are looking for, rather than the motivational speaking.
Yeah, and so what you said, I agree with. Like, do you feel like there has been a new wave of motivational speaking right from earlier? I'm a big fan of Tony Robbins.
In India or in the world?
In the world. I'm a big fan of Tony Robbins, but his style of motivational speaking doesn't work with me very well. On the other hand, Gary Vee, or even Abhinav, like what you said in this in our talk, even before this, you said that it doesn't matter if the path you're taking is right or wrong. You just have to stick to it.
Yes.
Right. So that relates with me, because I've gone through a time where I wouldn't even start something because I'm busy thinking, no, this path is right, this path is right. But the fact that you're not giving up is actually what matters. This is something that relates with me. This is something that motivated me, and you don't even know about it. So I feel like this is a new wave of motivational speaking, like Gary Vee, people who talk about failures, who don't just come and throw positivity, but who talk about their own failures to motivate.
Tell me one thing. So again, this is something that maybe Abhinav and me don't have perspective on, because we're on the other side of the screen. We're YouTubers and
Correct.
on the stage, whatever.
Correct.
For an average person, would you pay 1,000 rupees to attend some kind of a seminar for motivation? And what would you look for?
If I look up to the person, if I'm already taken aback by the YouTube videos, for sure I would pay. If I'm a fan, I would go ahead.
But what do you want to gain from
So again, I feel like I am motivated more by hearing some stories of how even they have probably up at some point, right? Because I feel like the older motivational talks were just about, oh, you can do it, I have done it, you can do it. But nowadays people talk about
they make themselves vulnerable.
Yeah, and I think Gary Vee does that very well. He goes on stage and he talks about individual things, and with everyone he'll always end the talk with some level of assurance that, dude, you haven't actually up. Some kid will come and go like, listen, I can't figure out. I'm 20 and my startup is failing. I can't figure out. He's like, dude, I'm 42 and I've just succeeded. You don't know how much time you have. You're literally less than half my age, and you're saying you up. Like, you have to know where to slow down. So he tells everyone a different story. And that's not a bad thing, because that relates to that person. To someone else who's 20 and who's actually doing nothing, he'll say, bro, speed up. Like, you can't go so slow. At 20, I was doing this. I was, paying my own bills. This is what motivational speaking is now. You have to relate with everyone individually. And I feel if someone can do that, and I think Abhinav is going that path, where, you are relating with individual people, you are talking about your own failures. Right now, he spoke about his struggles. And I think that's what that's real motivation now. Not telling me I can do it, but talking about your struggles so I can see myself in you.
And one more thing, if I would, why would I not go to someone who have been, if Little comes and if I can pay 10,000 to see him, man, I'm still a kid from inside. I'm a fan. I want to see him. I don't even want him, I don't want to even hear him. I just want to see him. Maybe just shake some hands. Even that element, I think it's you create your own brand. So we have done we have done a meetup and there we have been there. Of course, we have not kept it pay money and stuff because we don't want right now. But maybe someday even we want to do that, and we know that people are going to come, not maybe just because they want to listen, because we have already put up so much of stuff on YouTube. You have 180, I have 180 videos, so they can go and watch all the information that you want. I'm not going to say anything new over there, but just that kid in you who just wants to see to the person that they have been idolizing from so long. I think that is one thing which we also have to consider when we are talking about the paid thing.
Even on this meetup that we had, the one moment that stayed with me after the whole talking to 30 people, listening to everyone's talk, there was one kid who came up to me and he said that, listen dude, you did engineering now, even you didn't like it now. I was like, huh. And then he's like, acha, even I didn't like it, and I actually dropped out, and my full family is giving me shit, my friends are giving me shit. And then this big bro from YouTube of his tells him that, dude, listen, it's okay, it's fine, you did a good decision by going for something you actually like. He almost started weeping. He was looking for that much validation from YouTube.
So that connectivity is also there. So I recently gave that TEDx talk and I have a very bad sense of humor. Normally I'm a very serious kind of a guy. It's just that when I talk in Punjabi, my sense of humor comes up. When I'm in English conversing on serious topics, I do not have a very good sense of humor. But I was just in a TEDx and I just said a word. So I was into mechanical engineering. I didn't even have to say anything after that. And people started laughing like that. And I'm like, this is easy, man. This is easy. So it's just that connectivity that you want, even if you are not funny, if you're not comic, but if you just have that real story along with you, there are people those who can relate like anything.
And this is what I love about you guys' meetup, so just for context, these guys had a meetup in South Bombay a couple of months back, and it was nothing but a motivational talk.
Free of course.
Free of course. So you have to realize that most meetups are just merko milo and go home. This you come here and you learn something. So that's pretty cool. You were giving motivational talks to people. Most of your meetups, I think people come with questions about life now. They don't come with just one selfie. Many of them will come with, I'm going through this. Tell me what to do. I have this problem.
It's because we've created a content around that. It's not just about fitness, but we also give a hint of, let's say, I do not give a lot of stuff. Ranveer has given a lot of information about his struggles and all in the YouTube videos. I've actually shared a lot of them on my Instagram. So I have a following of, let's say, people looking up to me as someone who is motivational through Instagram. For fitness, for YouTube, I'm still like a fitness YouTuber, but through Instagram I've created my vision of actually helping through my words, helping people through my words. So definitely I agree to that you just have to create a content around the stuff that you want to be.
And your audience will be such.
Yes, you will always find your audience. You will always find your audience.
And I also feel like the biggest kick of this job, like YouTubing and social media, again from that side of the screen, is the fame, the fun and all. That's amazing. Parties, great. But the biggest thing is when that one kid will come up to you and say that, listen, bro, help me.
We all live for that. We all are living for that.
Because we've also been through that.
It's inexplicable, that moment when someone comes up to you and says, bro, you changed my life. I'm like, that was what I wanted to hear.
That's why we struggled.
That was exactly what I wanted to hear from a long time, and now I have, because that gives you also. I want to be selfish a bit here, but I do that. I want that to happen because it gives me also a lot of confidence to keep going on.
Correct.
It's like our little motivational talk for us when that person comes and says that.
That's awesome. That's a really nice thing that you say that. So, are you looking to change your YouTube persona also to a little more motivational from fitness eventually?
I still do not think that I'm equipped enough to give people life lessons because I'm struggling with certain aspects of my own life. So I want to get through with everything. I want to get hold of my stuff, and I want to be in a state of mind where I can actually have enough of ability to change someone else's state of mind. Correct. I don't want to go and talk about life and relationships and career when I'm still in the midst of that chaos.
Correct.
So you need to find. So of course, if it's about fitness. Again, the same thing that we were talking about on your live session or on the podcast that we had on Ranveer's channel. Fitness is something that I can talk about fluently, and I know what needs to be done to get back in shape and what needs to be done to lose weight or build muscle. That is something that I can say fluently, and I don't have any doubts, single doubt when I'm talking about that. When it comes to about life, I still feel there's some time where I have to start exploring a lot of new things, expressing a lot of new stuff, see how it connects with people, see if my ideas or philosophies are actually something new, are adding some value to people's life, and then maybe I'll start transitioning my YouTube channel into more of that. I'm as I said, it's just 27.
Yeah.
So I just want to give myself 5 more years to actually say myself as being a motivational or a public speaker. Before that, I just want to create a lot of content. Right now, I'm just more focusing on more of the fashion, grooming, and more of the personality development. Now, personality development is something which does not come into motivational speaking exactly, because that is where I can share how I transform myself, and there I can share the books or the material that I've gone through and that people can go through to actually groom themselves up. So that is not exactly the motivational speaking that I'm talking about, but definitely I am transitioning into that phase, and slowly and steadily people will start, I'm very sure they will start appreciating that.
Also, speaking about just content, we are talking about content strategy. I feel like especially for YouTubers, things like fitness, there is whatever we've learned over the years, we put that up. But eventually, as a YouTuber or a social media person, you reach a stage where your content is a big reflection of what you're currently going through in life.
Yeah.
Again, I started dating someone and she educated me on how to dress better, and I went into fashion content.
Stagnancy is what you're talking about. So if your content is on the same tangent, then everyone will come to know that you're still stagnant.
Yeah.
The moment you start putting up new content and more lively content, the people know that your life is going according to that.
Do you think this applies for content universally? It doesn't matter YouTube. I'm talking about TV shows, or directors work in movies or even podcasts.
Yes. I definitely feel that your content, the way that you come up in front of the camera, the things that you're sharing in front of the camera, exactly the reflection of who you actually are.
Yeah.
You can't just lie in front of camera. Unless you are a good actor, you can't lie in front of the camera.
In any creative process, whatever, even if it's the worst TV show you've seen in your life, somewhere that director's internal self
even the audience starts to know when this is dying.
Yeah.
When this soap opera is gonna die, when this is gonna pick up. Even the audience knows that.
That's
so that's why they create a lot of climaxes, and when they do not find that, then this is the end. This is the end. They cannot continue after that.
That's awesome, man. Super, super interesting and deep conversation. But we'll be back in a bit. We're taking a break right now.
Yeah. It's IVM here. Let's go. We the IVM kids on the block over here. Just to talk, taking a break from producing all day, coming on this podcast because we got stuff to say. IVM Daily is the name of the show. Monday to Friday, we ready to go. Talking about stuff in our head. We might even talk about our favorite bread. Signing out, it's IVM here, the podcast network that's in your ear.
Catch IVM Daily, Monday to Friday on the IVM Podcast app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Alright, so we're back on Hustle Science, and we've got to talk about Abhinav's future plans. We do this with everyone, but I want to start off this part of the conversation with asking you. So I think I called you last week, and I was going through a tough time myself. I was just kind of stagnating with creativity and where business is going, and I was feeling very underconfident just about things. Though there was not much to feel underconfident about, but you get this bout of anxiety. So, and then you told me a few things that helped me. So I want to ask you 2 things. One is that, firstly, I feel now I'm 24 and you're not in your early 20s anymore. You're in your mid 20s. That's a very daunting thing for me, I feel.
Yaar, tu kya? What you keep going back to that.
So here's something I'm going to tell you. So I'm 27, okay? And somehow I do not know how this thing got into my mind. 27 is freaking old, man.
Yeah.
I have no idea. And you have no idea how that my body started responding to it. So I started having these weird body aches and the backache and these knee pains and stuff like that. I'm like, what the hell is happening? And then I went back to the same strategy. Whatever you're telling your mind is exactly how your body is going to respond to it. Mind over body. So then I started affirming a lot. Oh man, it's young. I'm young. And then I started watching a lot of people who are like still 35, 40, 45 and they are doing these crazy ass moves. I'm like, what the hell is going through my mind? The same thing that I want to tell you, man. Just do not get into that kind of a negative talk that you're 24 or this and that. Man, 24 is nothing. I don't even know what I was doing at 25. 24, I think I was probably just thinking about the future plans rather than executing them. So it's I think it's just about the mindset that you have.
Correct. And I think being in a very fast environment, this culture makes you feel bad that you're growing old.
And you know why? Because Ranveer has this tendency of calling himself a big brother and calling himself an entrepreneur. And it's nothing wrong in that, but I still feel that those words, they have some kind of vibes. No, I would say some kind of maturity vibes to them. Big brother or entrepreneur. Oh my God, I'm like, I don't know, businessman. So if I just say you're a gym goer, or you're just you're just a boy next door, then you have a different vibe to those words. And you're like, I'm just still young, man. I'm still young. If someone looks at you, you look amazing, man. You just still look like you're in 12th standard. So that I think it's just the mind talk and the way that you talk to yourself. That completely changes the way that you start treating yourself.
About this fast-paced environment also, I want to ask you this. This is something we have to talk about because we've had this conversation earlier, but I just want the listeners to know about this. So, Gumber and me have been talking a lot about Mumbai recently. And even you're saying that you might shift here at some point in the future. What was the first difference? Now you're living in Chandigarh, like Mohali.
Yes.
So, did you feel firstly a difference in the overall energy levels of Chandigarh compared to Patiala? And obviously then compared to Bombay?
As I said, the place that, my hometown, people do not have that open-mindedness that I want. Either they know something and they don't want to tell. They know something they don't want to learn. Both the things are something that made me suffocated a lot. I've been in Chandigarh. I've been in Delhi. I've stayed in Mumbai for 3 months. I've been to China. I've traveled on the few parts of the world. There's a huge difference. When you shift at a place, I don't care if it's fast-paced or not, but when you shift at a place and you have a kind of a company where people are ready to learn and teach, it makes a huge difference to the way that you perceive.
Okay.
So, my shifting to Mohali, it's not that far from Patiala, to be honest. It's just like 70 kilometers and a 1.5 hour drive. But the kind of vibes and the kind of people that you have there, it's a huge difference when I go to Patiala or when I be in Mohali. And there's a huge difference if I am in Chandigarh or I am in Mumbai. There's a huge difference. So definitely, I think your demographics, they decide a lot about how you're going to go.
What do you feel is like the striking thing about Mumbai? Like especially the people and the work environment. From like a very business, work, just people feel like how you're seeing people help educate.
The same thing. I think you gave the answer to your question. People are ready to listen and the people are ready to speak and teach you.
Okay.
I think that is one of the major differences that I feel that I'm not having when I'm staying in Punjab.
Okay.
Because people have very conservative kind of attitude, which I've already repeated again. It's very conservative attitude about things and the very closed mindset because they are still convinced by the conditionings of the society and the parents and their teachers. And unless you actually, and people are in a fast-paced world, there's one advantage that people are actually ready to get out of their conditioning, try something new. They're realizing that you do not need to be in a corporate world. You do not need to just sit in an office from 9 to 5. You do not need to jail yourself up in a certain environment, in a certain group of people which you don't like to achieve what you want, even if it's just monetary wise. You can get out of that. And
Is risk taking the right word?
Yeah, man. I was 21, 22. I was earning more than some MBA consultant who was in MDocs or who was in Deloitte. At 21 years, 22 years of age, and what I was doing, I was modeling, I was posing in front of the camera. Right? And so that definitely, for me, that was the validation that I needed.
Correct.
That I do not need to be in a certain environment. People still tell themselves, you were talking about me, 27 at 27, still my parents are, find yourself something stable, you never know when you're going to get clients, you never know when this YouTube thing is going to, I think this with everything, you never know when IT is going to shut off, you never know when it's going to be the next recession, you never know. Like I have my stocks in mutual funds and I see them going up and down, I'm like, this is exactly how it's going to happen in any culture. Right now, I'm still secure because I know YouTube has just started. Not everyone is a YouTuber. Not everyone is into YouTube marketing. Not everyone is into online training and stuff. It will grow, but still, it's just new. So the only direction right now it can go, it's going to go upwards. Now it's on me how we can actually use this platform and diversify our own opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what's your like? Do you set 5-year goals for yourself? Do you set 10-year goals for yourself?
I used to do that a lot. The problem with those goals, what I used to face that I used to start getting really anxious about, am I going the right way? It's always like you have a 5-year goal, but then you want to go quicker. So now what I have done is I've got myself 3 months goals.
Okay.
Most people won't agree to that, but then again I said like that Peter Drucker book, it always depends from person to person. So it doesn't make sense. For me, it doesn't make sense because if I say, okay, after 1 year, I want to buy let's say an SUV. Right now, my business is somewhere I'm earning this much. You never know that in the next 3 months, you might have the potential of, let's say, earning 4 times what I'm earning right now. You do not know. But if you give yourself a time span of 1 year, you're going to work like, okay, you have 1 year. But if you have like that's 3 months thing, you know that right now it's so much of stuff that you can do and so much of things that you can convert when it comes to money, when it comes to success, that you might be able to push yourself harder in the next 3 months. So what you had, it's a short life, man. I don't want to be living till 40 waiting for my next breakthrough. So it's like, why to wait for 1 year? If I can achieve it, so I just need to reverse engineer everything.
Correct.
Let's say if it's 3 months, I need to reverse engineer. Okay, maybe I need to put some books. Maybe I need to launch some apparels. Maybe I need to launch some merchandise. And these are sales. I have a plan. Put it up. And then you never know, like within 3 months, I already have my goal, for which I would have to wait for 1 year if I didn't think
like
that
this.
way. I think that way.
I like this because you're saying you don't need to like expand your view so much.
Yes.
You know, to a point, because I think you are not capable of seeing so far into it. 1 year mein kya opportunities aayenge, your perspective, your mindset will change.
This thinking that you're talking about, having 5-year goals, 6-year goals, they're good when you're into an environment where you're going to get a fixed kind of an income or a fixed kind of a salary, and you know that you cannot go beyond this in a particular period of time. And when all you can do is save, get some interest, and put some more interest, some more interest, and after these years you will have this amount of money or this amount of success.
Correct.
But when you're in a business like YouTube, when you're in a business like what we are doing, which we also don't know where we're going to go after like 3 months or 4 months, it's just unlimited.
Yeah. It's a really good philosophy, and I think even you spoke about that. Ranveer has told me this before, where you keep repeating how you work every day on a day-to-day basis. Like every day is a new goal. You wake up, you set your goals for that day.
I still remember Ranveer talking about the first day we met, and I think we conversed on the phone. We were talking about, Ranveer was like, "Oh, I thought that it will take me 2 years to reach 1 lakh subscribers," and he was like, "Oh, I got it like 1.5 years." So this is exactly what I'm trying to say. You have no freaking idea. Till December, I had 8,000. I just switched on to Hindi and I thought, okay, I still have my goals written on my page. So in that, it was till December, I need 1 lakh subscribers. But something changed. I just converted into Hindi, and by March or by April, I had 1 lakh subscribers already.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is how frequently it's changed.
Yeah.
Correct. I think that's a perfect time, 3 months.
But so my only concern is, how do you know if you're progressing or not? Like, do you, if suppose you
see it, you have to compartmentalize few things in your life. Progress, if you are talking about the overall progress, I don't know, I think that's a very vague way of taking it. I think you have to just start looking at if you're talking about the monetary stuff, start looking into your bank accounts. Are you actually increasing your bank account? Is there an increase in that? If there's an increase every single month, you're progressing. Your YouTube subscribers, how do you progress how do you check your progress of the YouTube?
Subscribe.
How monthly? So they have this 28 days thing, that 28 days, how many YouTube subscribers are. So if I see the last month I had 30,000 subscribers increase and this month I have 27,000, I need to change something. I just can't keep on putting up the content without actually noticing that. Right? So you have to at least compartmentalize few things. Of course, there are all integrated restricted into one thing, but you have to compartmentalize and see what all aspects are right now you want to be grown in the next few months.
A lot of progress would be personal progress, personal growth as well.
Yes.
Which you can't count with a number.
The same thing, like we're doing these meditational courses and stuff like that.
That's
and
something you got to talk about.
Yeah, so that is, I think you just compartmentalize your personal goals, your professional goals, and your social goals, and so when you compartmentalize, you see, you have a lot of friends, you have having good relations.
Correct.
So if I'm sitting here, I know like few months back, I was just on a phone call with Ranveer and Tejaswin, but right now I'm sitting with them doing a podcast. This is a progress for me.
Yes.
And 1 year back, I didn't have enough of money to actually fly myself down to anywhere. Now it's my choice wherever I want to go. I can go to Germany, I can come to Mumbai, I can go anywhere I want without thinking my finances going to suffer, I won't be able to go there.
That's
so
awesome.
This is progress.
Yeah, absolutely. That's
this
awesome.
is progress. No one can tell you, and no one else can tell you that what kind of progress you are making. It's just you. This feeling of having that progress, feeling of not feeling lack, feeling abundant all the time. This is progress.
Yeah. Do you feel that somewhere for you, like do you count progress in spirituality also?
Yes, I do. I think that's again a personal goal. I think spirituality is too complicated to consider it as a progress. I think every single day that you delve yourself into spirituality, whether it's a bad day, whether it's a good day, I think it's always a progress.
So one very interesting thing you told me a while back is that especially if you're someone who has like very big work goals, or like if you want to do something in life, you can actually use spirituality as some kind of a, I don't know the word, like maybe like a car to get you there faster. So again, I'm sure that spirituality, meditation, all these things.
I think you're completely right. But then there are people like Gary Vee who never talks about spirituality.
Yeah,
but they're doing good.
Mm-hmm. But do you think that somewhere meditation, spirituality has helped you in your career?
Definitely. So again, it depends on individual to individual. So depends on how your upbringing has been, how you have been treated by your parents, how your friends have treated you, how much trauma do you have. Some people do not have that much of trauma. Some people are born with that kind of a focused, freaky mindset that we are go-getters and nothing can stop you. I was not one of those. I was never one of those.
Yeah.
And people affected me a lot.
You have to imbibe something like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
People affected me a lot. So people saying me, oh, you're looking this, you're having acne and you cannot do this, you cannot go into your lifestyle, you cannot become a model, it's too freaky and this and that. That affected me. I can't deny that. So I have to have something where I can go inside, ask myself, what is the truth? What exactly is happening here?
Yeah.
So what exactly is happening here? People are telling me something which they have not experienced themselves. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It just does not make sense.
Yeah.
How can someone who does not know how to play cricket teach me about a straight drive?
Correct.
So and this is exactly what meditation is. It starts making you more self-aware.
Yeah.
Being with the reality. What reality is rather than what is being presented to you by the outer world. What exactly realities have. How exactly the reality is. Not how the way you want to look at it.
Yeah.
So we don't want to be in a delusion. In life, we do not want to be in a delusion. I'm not saying I've successfully, been able to come hold of that concept. Because if I did, I would be at a different place. But definitely, it is helping me out to be very close to what actual reality is, rather than what I want to perceive of it.
Yeah.
Do you feel that? Like, if there was any specific kind of meditation which was like life-changing for you?
No, actually, I want this question to be. I wanted to elaborate about something like this. I wanted to tell me about us actually, about where you started from, what kind of meditation started from, and what kind of meditation actually worked for you. Don't just name the one. I want to know all that.
The whole
tried.
journey. Like,
here's how every journey works for me. I start something, I stick to it, then I achieve my goal. Then I'm too focused on the goal that I forget what actually got me to the goal. And then I see my goal going away. Then I go back to the things that got me back to the goal. So that's how it happens. So I started with the meditation, just normal meditation with the breathing techniques and all. Then I started doing a lot of dynamic meditation where I was doing a lot of catharsis, screaming and shouting, letting the emotions out, crying like a child and stuff like that. Then I started doing a lot of visualization meditations, what I want from my goals.
What is this? Can you just describe the whole?
So basically you go into a meditation state where there's no thought, which is very difficult to achieve. And because once you are doing meditation, there's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to come up, and you just stay detached. You're like watching it like a movie that's happening, whatever is happening. So your parents something said, your girlfriend something said something, your friend said something. You're just watching it a movie and staying detached from it. Once that movie stops, then you are the one who decide what kind of a negatives, what kind of movie is going to get played on there. You want to see yourself progressing. You want to see yourself growing. You want to see yourself getting rich. You want to see yourself driving those cars that you want to. You want to see yourself hanging out with people. You want to see yourself having this podcast.
Correct.
So that is what visualization meditation is.
This is very similar to the white light meditation that was.
I actually experienced this recently when I did the Reiki course.
Yeah.
Reiki course, but again the same thing. This is what exactly that happens. That was telling you. I used to do this visualization meditation before, but then I stopped doing it.
Okay.
Because I became complacent with the goal I am. But then I started this white light meditation. I'm like, oh man, I need to do that. So it's just a different ways of doing things. Like you can say the white light meditation, I say it, or visualization meditation. But both are the same thing. We know that. We know that. But again, it's just about manifesting something in the metaphysical world first. Before it comes to the physical world.
I think one of the biggest players, one of the biggest speakers and promoters for visualization is Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
He has spoken about it a lot.
He's a savage. He's a savage.
The more people also that are meeting, like from this fitness field for some reason, like Abhinav was one, Luke Coutinho was another, they all talk about visualization. So I've just come to realize that, okay, this is like a real, this is the real deal.
This happens.
100%.
Unless you know where you want to go, unless you exactly know what your goal is, you can't reach it. You can't reach it. Like randomly, of course, there are going to be a lot of things that are happening, but you want to find yourself 3 months down the line somewhere closer to the place that you wanted to be.
I'm sure there's like some cynical listener somewhere listening to this and going like, oh, what is all this? Like, what is all this?
That's completely fine. I don't even have. I'm not going to say you're right or wrong. I just request everyone listening to this, just at least try to experience it.
Start meditating and do it consistently.
Try to experience it. Not even start meditating. If meditation is too much of a fishy word for you, if it creates a lot of doubts in your mind, just visualizations. Just start with it. Just don't even do something. Just before you go to sleep, just think about the cars that you want. Just think about the money that you want. Just try doing that. I can promise you within 3 months you'll be thanking us, sitting over here, giving the podcast, and you'll be like,
this podcast changed my life.
Yeah, this worked. This worked.
I know what you mean. Alright, so we're going to take a break now. We'll come back after the break for our final round
for
of
some
the
fun
podcast. Fun round.
Hey friend, so if you're listening to a podcast right now, you're probably some kind of a nerd. A nerd at heart, at least. So maybe, just maybe, you might like another podcast about nerds, by nerds, and for nerds.
It's called Geek Fruit, a community to unite estranged geeks from across India and later on the world. We talk about television, movies, science fiction, adventure, fantasy, etc. Anything nerdy, it's all here on Geek Fruit. You can catch a fresh episode every Monday,
and you can check us out on any of your favorite podcast apps, like my favorite podcast app, the IVM podcast app. Give me my money, IVM.
Good plug.
Happy listening, you nerds.
Alright, and we're back on Hustle Science for the final round of the show. Tejaswin Gumber, what are we talking?
So we're doing something called Quickies, which will be like a rapid fire round. We'll ask you a set of interesting questions just for some fun, to add some fun element into this.
Do I get some goodies? Do I get some goodies also?
Tonight, like when we're chilling. So you wanna start off, Tejaswin?
Yeah, cool. So we've chilled a lot. We have come down to Bombay a couple of times. We've gone out a lot. We've had many experiences. We've gone eating. So for people who don't know this, who they won't, we've gone to what's the place's name?
Dulali. Global Fusion.
Global Fusion, yeah. And we have ripped their menu apart. Like the amount we have eaten, the amount of ice creams. But yeah. So what's your favorite place in Bombay? Because I ask this to everyone, but I think it especially applies to you.
Not for chilling also, it can be like anything.
Mumbai Salad Bar.
Okay. Bombay Salad Company.
Yeah.
In Bandra.
Yeah.
Why? What do you like about that place? It's really relaxed and everything.
I like
the food is nice.
I like the food. I like the salads. I like the smoothie. They have this dark chocolate, I don't know, cocoa smoothie. Something like that.
And they let you add protein powder.
Yes.
I get excited. Yeah. But now you will have, now that I'm moving in, you're coming to Bombay, which I'm super excited for myself. I think you're going to like start setting your own favorites. So you're going to have a place where you want to sit and write.
I've actually not been to many places in Mumbai for eating and stuff. But definitely once I shift here, I'm going to explore a lot.
What will you miss about like Chandigarh or Patiala? The food?
Nothing other than my family, nothing.
Okay. No restaurant because whenever we're going North India, we always go and eat.
No. I've been there a long time now.
No, man, but I think in Bombay now, I think there are some pretty good North Indian restaurants. Like maybe 5 years ago, no. 10 years ago, no.
But being a fitness guy, I anyways, regularly I'm not eating any kind of butter chickens or something like that. So I'm used to eating the more of the healthier stuff, the more of the good looking stuff.
Yes. Okay, next question.
What would be your favorite book to gift someone?
My favorite book would be something known as Happiness Hypothesis by Jonathan Haidt.
Okay, what's it about?
So it's a wonderful book. It's a wonderful book. It has so many realistic life philosophies, which is a very oxymoron when I say realistic life philosophies, but it's just about how your brain works, how you actually function when you have traumas, and how your happiness setting happens, the mid-poise, hedonic machines. Like I can't even express the kind of lessons that I've learned from that book. I definitely recommend to every listener right now, go get your hands on Jonathan Haidt, The Happiness Hypothesis.
Okay. Next question. Do you feel that there's any point in your life where everything just changed up? Like one moment in your life where you feel that, okay, things changed from there? Just one moment, if you had to pick out one.
I think my decision of leaving everything, leaving my hometown and going to Delhi for modeling, that was a huge shift in my life. My life is changing almost every single day now. Every single day. But that one decision was something which decided everything for me. Everything for me.
Okay. It's the best decision you made, you think?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
What kind of content did you prefer the most? Video content, audio content? Now you're like becoming a part of both eventually. So what do you think is, and you're already a very big consumer of audiobooks and stuff.
For me, it's very easy to create content or to express myself in a content like this, where I'm just conversing.
Yeah.
It becomes a little bit of more conservative for me when I'm in front of the camera and I have to talk.
Care about your body.
Yes, care about your body, what I'm wearing, what I'm expressing, how my words are being taken by absorbed by the audience. What kind of an audience is actually going to watch that? I want to expand my content to the audio, but I know that video is going to remain the king for next at least 5 years. So I would say that video is something I'm going to go for, but I'm going to focus more on improving my skills in front of the camera.
Soon we'll be talking about virtual reality. Virtual reality versus video.
Yes. Oh yes.
Okay, your top 3 YouTube channel recommendations to the average person
regarding fitness or
just
anything?
generally,
anything. Generally,
anything. Top 3. It can be 3 different genres.
Okay, one and definitely this is not to flatter. One is beer biceps for sure. The other is going to be Elliot Hulse. Definitely. And the third is going to be Abhinav Mahajan. I'm just No, it's going to be Gary Vee.
Okay.
Gary Vee. I would say Gary Vee, watch his videos before January 2017. Before, still
what
2016.
Was the change?
I think when he started the Daily V and all, there was a lot of distractions and, a lot of show off. I won't say a show off, but a lot of distractions of the content. Distraction of the content. Because when he was doing the Q&A with the Gary, I forgot the exact what they used to call that. They used to answer a lot of questions. I think that saved a lot of time and added a lot of value. But then when the Daily V started, there was a lot of distraction in that video.
I think he's trying to create a brand of himself.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with that, but as a viewer, as someone who consumes his content on a regular basis, it takes a lot of time for me to figure out when the valuable thing is going to come in that particular video.
True.
Okay, so is there any habit that you would never have other than smoking? Like any habit that you'd avoid? It can even be something like
overthinking.
Okay.
And still I'm struggling with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is something that I really want.
What's the solution on that? Just having faith?
I don't know. I'm still figuring out.
Okay. And one habit that you would recommend to every single human being, other than fitness?
Books.
Okay.
Books.
What's the first 3 things you do when you wake up? Do you have a morning routine?
Yes, I do have a morning routine. I meditate.
Okay.
I make sure that I get my workouts done early in the morning.
Okay.
And definitely visualize. So these 3 things are definitely on my list in the morning.
Okay. So, okay, do you drink?
I do drink occasionally, but I'm not addicted to it.
Okay. What's your like choice of alcohol? Like, what do you prefer drinking?
Other than tequila, anything works. But if I would have to say preferred, I would say beer.
Okay.
Or single malt.
Why such a strong thing against tequila?
I don't know. Just like I have a very bad hangover whenever I have a tequila.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I just don't know. Even in those clubbing days when I was in modeling and all, I could drink lots of beer, lots of this rum and all. But whenever I used to have this 2 shots of tequila and I was done, and the next day I had the worst hangover ever.
Yeah. Even I'm not a fan of these spirits.
Yeah.
I'm beer wine.
Yeah.
Like
Same.
Yes.
simple light alcohol.
Yes.
I want to transition into my drunkenness. I don't want to like get hit suddenly, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Your car hitting you like that.
Yeah. I don't enjoy that. That's such a party culture which I'm so over now.
Yeah, that was a very college thing.
Yeah. I'm very done with that. I enjoy some nice whiskey, but I would prefer some
over
beer.
a conversation.
Yeah.
We had this is gonna offend a lot of people, but we had that black dog thing in steel glasses. You know?
In Mohali.
We had that. So all you black dog lovers, kill us.
Bedke for 2 hours. We were just having a nice. He made a 90 ml bag for me. He filled it up.
He's like, okay, I don't want to have it. I'm like, it's a small one. Just Punjabi have it, small one. Yeah, sure, small. And he's like putting water in that again and again and again.
Yeah, I had to dilute it again and again and again. But it's chill.
Okay, one last question for the day, and we ask everyone this. Your 3 biggest pieces of advice for a young kid just trying to figure out things in life. 3 biggest ones.
Okay, so I'm going to give it on the context that I visualize myself giving that advice to
the younger
10-year-old Abhinav Mahajan.
Yeah.
The first thing is going to be, it's all going to be fine.
Yeah.
That is one of the biggest advices that I want to give myself and everyone listening out there. It's all going to be fine. Secondly, just don't give up.
Yeah.
Never give up. Yes. Keep pushing. And the third would be learn how to let go. So again, as I said, this is something that this is the advice that I like to give a younger version of Abhinav Mahajan, everyone who is listening or who is going through a time where they're not able to figure out stuff. It's all going to be fine. Just don't give up and just learn how to let things go. Yeah.
Nice. So Abhinav, bro, thank you for being on the podcast. This was
I love this, man. I love this
podcast ideas, actually, bro. Thank you. This was amazing.
Thank you so much for having me here, man.
Yeah, we hope you had fun.
I'm just waiting for the next one.
Yeah, I hope at some point we can listen to just like the Abhinav Mahajan show. I'm sure that's something I would listen to like regularly.
Let's see.
For sure.
But definitely, I loved it. I can't just wait to get.
It's a
back
fun
here.
experience.
Because
at one point you always start off with thinking, oh, okay, now I should stay there. But eventually I just get lost in like looking at your eyes, like both your that sounds as romantic as it sounds. I just look at both your eyes.
Sense.
Yeah, and I get lost in conversation. I'm blinded. Like I can't even see the mic in front of me.
Yeah, I entered and I was like intimidated by so many mics, man. What is this? What's going to come out of the mic?
I think podcast actually this is something India needs to discover soon because there's so much value to be gained.
I think this is similar to the audiobooks and all, but I think just as you said, there are advantages of a fast-paced world and there are disadvantages of a fast-paced world. People do not have time for listening to a 1.5 or 2 hour of podcast, but once in a while if they do, they never know what kind of a golden nugget they will have.
Yeah.
Which is why I think content like this is best consumed when you're doing something.
Yes.
When you're driving, when you're doing your chores.
I think unless the podcasts are actually promoted on a commercial level, like other things are done, like YouTube and stuff, it will take some time for people to absorb this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But we'll be the change.
Yes, we'll be the change. We'll not give up.
Yeah.
And we'll keep on pushing.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure. Alright, signing off, Tejaswin and Ranveer and Abhinav. We'll see you later.
अगर आपकी जिंदगी में कोई ऐसी आपको दुविधा हो जिसका सवाल कोई दे नहीं पा रहा, तो हमने बनाया है आपके लिए एक खास शो जिसका नाम है सुन लो जी सुरलॉजी, जिस पर मैं पवन कुमार आपका सूत्रधार आपका स्वागत करता हूँ ताकि आप पूछ सके सवाल सोनू से.
Yes, I am Sonu. Hello, pleased to make your meeting. I am a super reality celebrity or दुनिया के कोई भी प्रॉब्लम नहीं है जो सेलिब्रिटी सॉल्व नहीं कर सकते, तो मैं आपके सारे प्रॉब्लम्स का हलाइजेशन एंड सॉल्वाइजेशन कर दूंगा।
तो जी हाँ, सोचिए मत, जरूर सुनिए सुन लो जी सोलॉजी हर बुधवार, दैट इज वेडनेसडे।
प्लीज लाइक आइज, शेयर आइज, कमेंटलाइज। अगर आपके पास कोई भी प्रॉब्लम्स है सोनू को बताइए, सोनू सारे प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व कर सकता है। इसी तरह तो मैं सुपर सेलिब्रिटी बना हूँ।
गिव मी अ वर्ड या कोई भी लाइन, कुछ भी हो सकता है यार। क्या कहा आपने? टोपी। ओके। मोहन जोशी hated wearing टोपीज. He felt suffocated in them. टोपी पहनते ही उसे स्कूल की याद आती थी, where of course he had no choice but to wear a टोपी। वह जिस दिन पास आउट हुआ उसी दिन उसने अपने टोपी का बॉनफायर बना दिया। And since then he'd never worn a cap or a hat, ना कड़कती धूप में and not even to बचो from the ठंडी। But from Monday 26th February, Mohan Joshi had to wear a topi all the time. Why? Because if he didn't, everyone around him knew exactly वो क्या सोच रहा था. They knew that he was wondering how the girl in the yellow churidar would look बिना कपड़े के. They knew when he was calling the boss a सड़ेला टमाटर. They knew everything. पर ये सब हुआ कैसे? अरे भाई, यही तो स्टोरी है, और ये स्टोरी आप ही ने मुझे दिया by giving me the starting word. यही तो है The Croc's Tales. Words आपके, कहानी आपके लिए. Catch the stories on Monday and Thursday on the IVM website, app, and anywhere you get your podcast from. See you soon.